Okay, today we're going to walk through the most important crypto airdrop and yield farming activities that I've done over the past week. All of these things are potentially high value targets to either earn airdrops, earn yield, or potentially just earn money from holding NFTs and trading. So let's break it down. For starters, I've been staking a decent chunk of Jupe tokens for a while now, and there is a new vote live. If you don't vote on these proposals, you don't earn the staking yield, the staking rewards. So it's important to make sure that you don't miss any of these. And this current vote ends on June 6th at 12:30 p.m. So you still have about 24 hours to vote on this if you haven't already. Next up, I actually returned to Abstract and was farming a little bit last week, and I'm going to ramp this up even more. I did really a bare minimal amount of things and was still in the top 5% of XP earners, and I'm planning on trying to rank this up as much as I can over the next few weeks and months. Now, one thing that I've noticed on Abstract is that the streaming platform is really just kind of dead. There is at best a small handful of streams with double-digit viewers. No one is really pulling in big views, and yeah, I'm not actually doing any of that. What I am doing though is going to the Discover tab and then experimenting with some of the apps. So for example, I was messing around with Death Fun a little bit last week. This one is a little game where basically you wager a small amount of ETH, so 0.01, and then you have to try and not hit what they call the death tile. And the longer that you can go without hitting it, the bigger the payout is. And then you can cash out at any time if you're worried about hitting it. So let's try one more. Oh, okay, so I lost 0.001 ETH there. But there's a ton of different games and apps that you can experiment with on Abstract. The transactions are super cheap, and every time that you do one, you earn a little bit of XP. So I'm going to try to rank up this moving forward. Okay, next up, let's talk about Mega ETH. I did a couple of things last week. It's still in testnet, and they have said that there's no incentives for farming the testnet, but different apps have started launching, and it's good to get in early with those. So this is one, all that you actually can do for this right now is sign up for the waitlist on euphoria.finance. So you can join the waitlist if you want to. But basically, this is going to be a new trading app. This is a post from Bread Guy, who's like ecosystem lead at Mega ETH, something like that. And this trading app is going to look something like this. So the earlier that I can get access to, the better it is. I think Mega ETH is building a pretty interesting ecosystem, and I want to try and be as early as I can to these new metas. So maybe this is a new trading meta. And yeah, doesn't hurt to sign up for the waitlist. Then the other thing that I did, which cost me a little bit of money, was buy a couple of these Bad Buns NFTs. They've started going around. Even Bread Guy has one of these as his PFP, and a bunch of other people within the Mega ETH ecosystem. Apart from the main soulbound NFT collection of Mega ETH, this appears to be the most hyped one. So I actually picked up a couple of these, not planning on selling them anytime soon, just kind of holding and see what happens. This is a very speculative play, and I'm not necessarily suggesting that you do this, just giving you an update on what I did last week with Mega ETH. Okay, next, let's talk about Hyperliquid, the Hyperliquid EVM, and other related airdrop targets. So I did a couple of major things. For starters, HyperUnit. I actually bridged a bunch of Fartcoin from Solana to HyperUnit, and I'm just holding it in my Hyperliquid spot portfolio right now. I've seen a lot of people talking about how this could be one of the better airdrop targets, and it doesn't hurt to move a little bit of volume and hold some balance of assets in the portfolio here. So I'm sitting with a bunch of Fartcoin now in HyperUnit. And then the other thing that I did was join the Liminal Money app, which basically takes deposits and then uses them for you to trade delta neutral on Hyperliquid. Generates you an APY of around 20% depending on what assets you trade on, and then also generates you points for the Hyperliquid airdrop. So I tried to deposit more actually, but the caps are currently full. There's a 20 million TVL cap, and that filled up pretty quickly. But what I do recommend is following Liminal Money on X, and then next time that they raise the caps, you can do your own due diligence and decide if you want to get in, because I think this is actually a really interesting yield Lego multi-airdrop target, and also has a solid yield, although of course there's risks associated with all of this. So those are the major sort of Hyperliquid moves that I made over the past few days. Now, another option for stablecoin farming right now is Infinify. I actually posted about this or made a video talking about it a while back where we were just signing up for the waitlist. Well, now it's actually live and you can earn yield on stablecoins using this and also points for a potential airdrop. So that's another solid airdrop farm using stablecoins if you're looking for something like that. If you signed up for the waitlist previously when I mentioned it, you now have access. Otherwise, you can still sign up for the waitlist and get future access soon. Okay, another thing that I did over the past week was farm a little bit of volume on Avantis. They extended their airdrop campaign a little bit by a few months, meaning there's still time to earn experience points. And then they announced the raise of $8 million, which just makes it a slightly better airdrop target. So this one is actually very solid as an option to use to hedge positions on Hyperliquid. So for example, if you're trading on Hyperliquid, and I made a full tutorial video talking about Hyperliquid last week. Let's say you open up a long position on Farcoin on Hyperliquid, then you can go over to Avantis and open up a short position. Therefore, regardless of what happens with the price of that token, you can actually farm points on both platforms without actually having major exposure, long or short, to the asset. So that's a decent way to move volume on both of these without actually exposing yourself to risk. So yeah, I moved some volume on Avantis as well. Then another thing that I've been experimenting with is some of these new integrations on Farcaster. So they just launched Hyper EVM and also Monad apps on Farcaster. So this, really you're better off doing it on your phone if you can, because most of the apps work better on the phone, even though you do have an option to log in on the browser. But what I've been doing since they launched these is just experimenting, playing a few of these little games, like the Monad games that they have, and also experimenting with some of the Hyper EVM stuff. These are a couple of the top airdrop targets that I have for 2025 and beyond. Anytime you get a chance to interact with multiple high ticket farms, then that is a solid opportunity to take. And it's super easy. You can just do it in a few clicks on your phone, wherever you are, whenever you feel like doing it. So yeah, those are the main things that I've done over the past week or so to farm airdrops. I've also been moving some money around using bridges like Jumper, for example. Continue actually hitting some transactions through Stargate and also Hyperlane for future rounds of their airdrops, and otherwise just sort of rejigging my positions and refocusing, because I feel like we have an opportunity over the next few months to actually make some solid money. There's a lot of airdrops or yield farms or other potential ways to make money that should be coming to fruition soon. So hopefully you found this little recap useful. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.